play the album. Okay, so Music Unraveled episode with, I've just been saying, repeat offender, John Warren.
Baby.
Little promotion. You've been on the podcast several times. We're doing another album review. Glad to have you back in the studio, my friend.
Proud to be here.
Dude, I just
lucky number 7.
I just love that we get to hang out.
That's my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah, like honestly, it's a great excuse to get to hang out together. You know what I'm saying? Like, and talk about stuff that we did nerd out on. You're the first person that told me about this band.
Yeah.
Like, no lie. I remember, like, I would just, we used to not live too far from each other in the Clarksville days, which Clarksville's not a big place. Okay, so listen to Tiny Monsters if anybody wants to listen along. Do you want that to be a little louder? Is that good?
No, it's perfect.
Okay. And I would just randomly drop by your house, man, and you would always be such a gracious host and tell me about cool shit, and we'd have great conversations. And I remember just dropping by one time, and you're like, you let me hear Maynard's acapella. Well, no, that was the same day you told me about Puscifer, but that was a perfect circle.
Perfect circle, yeah.
Yeah, we listened to the
Fiddle in the Drum.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was a game changer for everybody.
They opened Marching Like Sheep to the Rhythm of War drum when I saw Perfect Circle in Dallas. So good.
I wish I had more to say than but it's just
I mean, yeah, Colby and I were joking the other day because Maynard, when we saw him, or maybe it was Cora said this, but he goes, "Thanks, Texas." And we were just like, oh my God, you spoke to us. But yeah, dude, I think I told you this, but he stood out in the light and everything.
Yeah.
Like, out in the open, not at the Perfect Circle show, but at Tool in Tulsa. It blew my mind.
No, I think the mystery's over to an extent.
Man, what a guy that has served his purpose.
He did it.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
I mean, and I know that he's just such an enigma that everybody's always trying to figure him out. But it's like, dude, if you honestly look, I think like doing what we're doing, like just taking an objective look at like all his music and the documentary and watching him on Joe Rogan's podcast and just like the whole span, like I interpret Maynard as like a messenger sent, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Tool's got some funny songs. And Puscifer and A Perfect Circle. A Perfect Circle, I would say, is like the more serious of the three bands. Would you say that?
Which one is? I'm sorry.
A Perfect Circle.
The serious one?
Well, yeah. Who do you think's the more like serious of the three groups?
That's actually the best assessment I've heard, really, because I always think of Tool as the real one, but actually it's got funny stuff too. So yeah.
Like that that Alien song where it's the recorded phone call. I got tons of shit like that, or the end of
I
had
the hell out of me.
Friend who took some acid.
Right.
You know,
Maynard,
like
Maynard's dick. That was a.
What's that one song like?
Speaking of, we're writing it again.
Is it
like the 7th time?
Dude, we're making a career out of it over here.
I swear to God, at one point he's going to discover these two dudes with top knots from Arkansas are just riding the shit out of his dick. After a while, he's just going to be like, this is getting a little creepy. I need a restraining order,
dude.
We got a couple May nerds.
Is
that what we are? May nerds.
May nerd.
Are we nerds? Is that what we are? May nerds.
We should form an official Maynard fan club and call it May Nerd.
No, you know what? The thing is, my buddy Dale has to get credit for that. He asked me last night. He's like, so is that what you guys are? Or are you fanboys for Maynard? You're May nerds. So that goes out to Dale.
Hilarious.
He came up with that last night.
Maynophile.
And I'm like, don't make fun of the May. Don't make. I was like, he is the Messiah. He is.
Oh, yes. Dude, the Jesus memes with Maynard. And man, how much he comments on like religion, Christianity. Right. Like the Fear Inoculum album has like a Roman history.
Yeah.
Like Marcus Aurelius is one of the, in Stoicism, and that branch of philosophy is like one of the most well-known. Him and Epictetus, if I'm not mistaken,
right? Yeah,
two most well-known Stoics. But like on the Caligula with Grin line, and like that on Invincible, like that song, like I just can picture it being about like an aging out legionnaire. You know what I'm saying?
I never thought of that, but you're absolutely right.
Yeah, because oftentimes, and I don't know about Rome, but in Greece, you would have to fight until you would be in the field until you were 60.
That's right.
Which is, damn. Like I would be like myself, be like, yeah, only 28 more years of fighting, guys.
It's just almost out of here.
Like, damn. But I mean, that's
Birdie.
it's
That's
an
Birdie.
interesting.
Or the Green Valley.
Green Valley, yes.
Yeah.
Second track.
I'm going back, just remembering. It's been a while since I've listened to this album, I must admit.
I've never listened to the whole thing, man.
Oh man, this song, you know, my dad, God rest him, he when he heard this album, he heard it the year before he died in 2012, and he said, man, Maynard finally got it right. And I kind of put a little bit of a holy stamp on this album. It was just
what
he loved
number
his
album
music,
is
but
this
was his
in
favorite.
Puscifer's discography? Do we know?
Oh no, I you know, listen to me, call myself a fan.
Well, dude, I know we just kind of picked this one.
Yeah.
Like, because but I don't think it was the first one, was it? Let's see.
You'd be surprised how bad at trivia I am.
Of my parole. That's like, but dude, that's like we get together.
I know
because I have pretty decent recall, but I've never looked up this, so I'm not sure. But let me look. Puscifer, Condition My Troll is the second studio album by Puscifer. The album was produced by Maynard James Keenan, Matt Mitchell, and Josh Eustace.
Yeah.
Dude, have you ever looked up what a caduceus is?
Yeah, that's the snake that wraps around the staff.
Yeah,
It's the
and it was
healing.
like the messenger.
Yeah, the messenger.
God.
Yeah, that's the medical symbol. Yeah, it's true. It's the symbol of healing. Yeah, right. Isn't that kind of amazing? Because that's his healing elixir. Sorry, I love it when that bass kicks in.
Dude, I've been talking with a couple of my guests about a good fuzz pedal to get.
It kind of sounds like fuzz, doesn't it?
It does sound like a fuzz. It probably is.
It's not that buttery. It's not that buttery. It's more. It's just fuzzy.
Adam Jones's wah work on this new album.
This is my absolute favorite album, I think, possibly as an album that he's ever put out, because every song is so good. And I hate saying that, but you ever just get an album that every song is just an absolute banger?
Yeah.
This is it. There's no interludes for me. There's no skippers.
Man, Fear Inoculum's that way.
Oh,
That's
right.
why I listened to it today. But man, Maynard is just so, like when we listened to we did the Perfect Circles last album on this show.
Oh, it was a lot like this too.
And it was just, it's easy, beautiful, engaging listening. Like here's the thing. I was listening to Fear Inoculum this morning. I was doing some editing. And I got up and I got just like doing all sorts of shit. Like it had me just like working. It was weird because I was like washing the dishes and stuff. I just stuff I don't normally do, but it just had me like.
I hate to plagiarize a criticism here about the album, but it said this album is perfect cold weather headphone music. And I was like, maybe
take.
That's an interesting take, isn't it? Cold weather headphone music.
Maybe maybe they're saying it kind of, man, because dude, I get in the lurch this time of year. You know what I'm saying?
Seasonal affective disorder.
Yeah, I noticed it.
It's lack of vitamin D going in your eyes, especially if you're an O positive blood type.
Cora is.
I am too.
She doesn't deal with it like I do. She but I've been taking vitamin D3. I take it too. 3 caps a day, and they're like the 5,000.
Well, I see a person that's O positive, their body can't technically absorb as much vitamin D, and without the sunlight going in their eyes.
Yeah. Okay. So
people of the sun.
I heard this on Joe Rogan's podcast with monsoons.
Okay, this is my favorite track on the album, by far. This to me is him, and I know this is a lot of interpretations, but this is like a rain dance. Praying for rain, praying for monsoons of rain onto the grapevines.
Oh, okay.
That's what there's so many interpretations, but that's my interpretation. But I mean, tell me this isn't a rain dance in a sense, a prayer for rain.
I like the beat. Yeah, I can see that.
This is the most beautiful song I think he's ever done.
We apparently absorb 90% of vitamin D through our pupils.
Right, exactly.
So like even supplementing it, the uptake is apparently not. That's why I take a lot. Mm-hmm. But I need to start. I take that in the morning. I need to start taking a fish oil at night. I haven't been taking a fish oil. because that gives you some.
I take
vitamin D
fish
as
oil.
well.
I take it at night because otherwise it comes up.
Yes, exactly. I need to start taking it with my dinner. I was just talking to Cora about getting an evening. I got a morning supplementation routine. I started taking Host Defense. It's a non-magical mushroom supplement, lion's mane, and the guy's been on Joe Rogan a couple of times. He's done a TED Talk. Paul Stamets.
Oh yeah, okay.
He is something else, man. Maynard.
Listen to that.
This album is 54 minutes long. I'm going to read some stats from the wiki real quick.
Oh, yeah.
What do you remember hearing when like Puscifer was going to become a thing? Like, what were you like losing your mind when you found out Maynard was doing a third project?
When I found out that it was, I know it's a super group, but he's the only stable member.
Yeah.
So that it kind of becomes his brainchild, or it's, as he puts it, a place for his id and his ego and his anima to swap cookie recipes.
Yeah. Dude,
So,
at the end of documentary, he's like, I'll see you down in Arizona Bay. I'll see you guys down in Arizona. Dude, I just thought that was so funny. I don't know why. It's just like, dude, you trolling us? Like,
he literally just...
It's because it's like... it wasn't that song that he let people record, but it was Stinkfist at the...
that's
like the
let
one.
you pull out your phone for one
He's
song.
like, yeah, this is our most overplayed song. Go ahead and record it. Like, that's basically what he said at one of the concerts.
A lot of people mad about not being able to record stuff.
I mean, dude, respect the artist's property, I guess. Like
Live in the moment.
Yeah, that too. Because I think it's more about being engaged than anything.
Present.
Let's see. This album was released 18th of October 2011, recorded in the Caduceus Cellars Bunker.
Yeah, Bunker. Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah. A post-industrial alt-rock album, 50 minutes, 54 seconds in length. Puscifer Entertainment's the label. We're listening to Puscifer.com is the YouTube channel.
You hear that climax coming? Sorry, it's just like the most gorgeous song I've ever heard in my life.
Well, it's my hope that people listen along with this. We're currently on track.
If not, then please take a minute. Go to iTunes, Spotify. An hour is not much time to give.
My buddy Dylan just texted me and asked if I was a Gryffindor.
Who did?
My buddy Dylan Sparks. Well, hell yes, I'm a Gryffindor.
No one's ever asked me such a question. And I've been asked a lot of shit.
Dude, I got, some Harry Potter.
Oh, it's like incense?
It's playing cards. Yeah, I burn incense in quite a bit.
I thought it was Harry Potter incense. I was like, oh, right.
Keep on rolling, baby.
What's it?
Pretty cool.
Oh, this is the more you...
let's see. What are we?
The more you suck, the more you bleed. Make the
Telling Ghosts.
You can't tell me this one wasn't just made for like an underworld movie or something. It's the most vampire pro vampire song I've ever heard.
What do you think about?
That's
have you watched any of the John Wick movies?
1 and 2, haven't got around to 3 yet.
3 was good, man. I saw it. It was just as good. What do you think about the theory? Because John Wick 4
Sorry.
and go aggressor. And Matrix 4, they're coming out the same day.
That it's the same.
People think they're going to coincide. They're going to... Morpheus is in John Wick.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, I mean...
I got so much cool shit in here, dude.
I know. You're collecting all the coolness.
We can go through this box of Collection 1 on the Mandalorian podcast.
Well, we'll get to it.
Because I got literally the whole first wave of figures.
Have you ever heard anything more gothic than that? See, that's that 80s. What you got there is like that mid 80s those tom runs they used to do with the electric drums. Kind of sounds like the Lost Boys theme songs. Well, who was that?
Yeah. Kiefer Sutherland.
Right. Yeah, but back when vampires were cool, right?
Dude, when Blade 1 was a really good
Cry Little Sister.
movie.
You remember that? That song, the Cry Little Sister.
Yeah.
With the children's choir. Yeah.
You sending me Breakfast Club sound.
Oh shit! I got a new record player, man. Vinyl. It's a white vinyl. That's what I wanted to show you. It's an actual white vinyl.
We'll have to at some point. I don't own any of the Tool albums
Simple
on vinyl,
Minds.
but maybe we can. A couple of the album reviews we'll do because that's a record player right there.
Yeah, dude. Nothing sounds like
plugged
vinyl.
into the mixer too, so we can do a vinyl album review.
I would love to.
Do you have any Tool, Perfect Circle, or Puscifer on vinyl?
Nothing on vinyl, no.
Me either, man.
I've got a bunch of old stuff like Beatles and stuff on vinyl.
I've got
from original release.
I want to collect a limited amount of albums. I want all of Zeppelin stuff. I don't have any Zeppelin currently. I've got 2 Floyd albums. I would like to get all of Floyd's catalog.
If you could find the original releases clean.
Yeah. Panic. I got several Panic albums. I think 3 in there. But man, it just sounds better. It sounds different.
It's got an original, like, we sang into a can and we got it. Laid down a track, son.
Yeah.
It's got that going on for it,
In constant sorrow. That dude,
going in there and singing that can, boy.
Oh man. Track 4, Telling Ghost. Up next,
Telling
track
Ghost,
5 is Horizons.
Horizons is good. I didn't like it as much as Monsoons, but it's so fantastic. I'm trying to say I like one song better than another one. Listen to that.
Dude, Colby's like that. Like every Widespread Panic song comes on, he's like, man, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
And we're like, dude, you say that every time.
Yeah.
And he's like, but I get it.
Yeah.
At the same time.
All right.
Because it's like, how could you choose?
Echoes and specters, man. So if we're going to talk about, if this is the brainchild of his id and his ego and his anima, id and ego are both concepts of Sigmund Freud. Anima is Carl Jung. Id and ego, he didn't even mention the superego. Id being your instinct, ego is what mediates your id and your superego, your id being your instincts, your baser instincts, your superego being your morality, and your ego is what mediates between the two. He didn't mention that. He just said my id and my ego and my anima. Animus is the masculine side of a woman. Anima is the feminine side of a man. So id, ego, and anima. And you have Puscifer. Go ahead. Had to get out of that.
No, dude, I'm fascinated by how much. Well, like, okay, so like what you're saying about morality, like immediately what that made me think is like how much in all 3 of Maynard's bands he is interwoven Christianity and philosophy.
Correct.
I mean, it's like how what is it? Judas by Perfect Circle.
Right. Well, then, that's him, cursing
Thomas.
Cursing God.
He has a song about the
anger.
Beatitudes. I mean, it's like essentially the song is essentially the Sermon on the Mount. I forget what is that. Which song?
Oh, I know what you're talking about, too.
Is it The Doomed?
So that's Horizons just came on, guys. Dust Devil swept you away. Science, yeah. But yeah, I mean, philosophy has no place in science. The metaphysical has no place in the physical. I tell my own mother that this week.
Heads and tails.
Heads and tails, yeah. It really does. Like metaphysical
Yin and yang.
And the absolute, well, yeah, that's
a better.
But I mean, the metaphysical and the conceptual has no place in the scientific and the concrete. The solid, but there are places where the two meet, and that's the part that our lack of spectrums that we can perceive, that's where we can't see the places they meet. Old shamans, they used to call it the axis mundi, the place between. So that's something to think about. I mean,
you ever seen where two oceans come together?
Right, yeah, the 2 different colors, right?
Yeah, and it's just definitively different on one side or the other.
So, like, You ever hear that like women can see in more color spectrums than a man?
I may have heard that.
Men can only see like, I forgot, it's like 8 or 12 colors in totality compared to a woman. And that's why women are like so completely enamored by flowers. And we're just like, it's a flower, it's beautiful.
Man, polarized glasses
it's
are
beautiful,
crazy. I was wearing a pair of polarized glasses in Florida, and I saw way more of like colors in the sky.
Well, they can see a lot more than we ever could.
Interesting.
Apparently, and I don't know if it's true or not. What an interesting concept. Just open up your mind for a second and think about that.
Here's this spectrums. This is told to me by somebody. I don't know if it's true, but apparently we only see human beings only see a very narrow spectrum of colors as it is.
We only see a very narrow spectrum of light as it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like there's ultraviolet, there's infrared, and that's just two. Like, like a cat will go up and sniff a spot where another cat urinated. Do you know why? They don't. It's not that they can smell it from far away as much as they can see it.
At the predator.
Well, yeah,
vision,
they can see the spectrum of ultraviolet. They can see it. They can see the spot there, just like you're shining an ultraviolet light on it. They can see that. They see the spot. What is that? You bringing out the lightsaber?
Maybe,
bro. You taught me how to disarm, bro. You gonna kill me?
Wait just a second. All right.
What you got there, man?
Hold this in your hand.
Oh, guys.
You want to do it?
I'll do it. I'll do it.
Here.
No, I'll do it. I want the full experience.
I got this for my cousin Michael.
Bro.
For Christmas.
Get ready, guys.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, don't
y'all seen this?
Oh, there it is. Boom. Did you see how fast that was?
Did y'all see that shit?
Dude, if I'm doing this in my podcast studio / kitchen, then imagine what the CIA's doing. Yeah.
We can't tell you. We can't tell you where he got that.
Apparently, it's like a hot Christmas item or something. My cousin Michael got it for me and gave it to me for Christmas, and I was just like, he also got me that crazy hand over there, dude. You see that? Okay. It's like a hand that has all these joints moving around.
I want one of those.
Oh, dude! As soon as he gave it to me, I was like, First, he's like, yeah, let's burn a leaf. And we burned this leaf. And I was like, dude, it's the sun and the magnifying glass in one. That's what I said. And but we burned a hole in a trash bag from like here to the wall over there. Like 8 feet away or something.
We should have saved this for the Star Wars podcast. You got a freaking lightsaber.
I know. Well,
Hey, it's a spectrum, guys.
We were talking about different. Yeah, but hey, isn't it crazy how harsh that was on your eyes? Also, how bright it was.
Yeah.
It bothers Cora because has had LASIK surgery.
Right.
So yeah, it kind of irritates her.
Or someone had epilepsy. Like,
have you heard about people doing cyber attacks for dude, I've been reading a book about the dark web that's like shaking my reality.
Yeah, it's horrifying. Yeah. I have a lot to say about that, but I hate to say it on this podcast. But
yeah, man, I may do a book. I'm going to start doing more book reviews. I will have read 5 books over since I've been off from the university, which is nice.
Wow, yeah, that's really good.
But I want to start doing like what we're doing, this album review. Start doing some podcast book reviews and just sharing with the audience. Like, hey, this is what I'm reading. This is what it said. This is how I got it. Where I got it, and like what we're going to do with that Star Wars book.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Sure. No, yeah, I've got quite a bit to say about that kind of stuff.
I might, dude, and I was thinking, like, I might have to, I don't know if there's a book review and after the show episode, or is it its own new series if I start doing book reviews all the time?
Right.
Because I do the after the show, I do Music Unraveled, History Unraveled, Life Unraveled, and the Sports Unraveled, which is either jiu-jitsu, MMA, or whatever, boxing. So I don't know if I need to, like Books Unraveled, start a new episode, new series, and just boom, all the books I've reviewed are in this playlist, guys. Go here.
We get clothes or fashion unraveled. Get more in depth. Sweaters unraveled. I'm just saying.
Dude, I would like to do
that was a joke.
An unboxing.
Unboxing is a lot. It gets a lot of notice, man. Unboxing's cool.
Yeah, it is.
Did I say boxing or unboxing? Hey, unboxing.
Getting the When I was opening those boxes over here, I'm losing my mind, dude.
Where did they? Universal Yums. Hey, Universal Yums sponsor.
Yeah, that was nice. That was interesting.
Yeah.
It's just cool. Like, I like stuff like that. Like, different cultures, like seeing like, oh, like I think I told you about that guy that he teaches at the gym a class. I teach our Nogi class a lot, and he goes to Germany. He's like a consultant, and is always bringing back like the dankest German chocolate.
Yeah, absolutely.
So good. Like in candy,
they make the best stuff. Yeah. What's the name of this track?
Are we on Horizons or Man Overboard?
Man Overboard, yeah.
Track 6.
Yeah, that's good. It's almost like a sea shanty in its own way.
Toma is the next one, The Rapture. Then Conditions of...
Toma's a fun song.
Conditions of...
My Parole.
Round Eustace Mitchell McJur, My Parole.
Yeah.
It says like a whole bunch of stuff.
Well, it's Conditions of My Parole.
Yeah.
Title track.
Yeah, interesting. Maybe the Wikipedia has like an error here. It looks super weird. Okay, next track is starting. Toma. Toma. How many songs have you written in your life?
Me? Oh, God. All right, that's a great question.
Not including poetry.
Oh, well, then I got to cut it down by like 5.
Like you know,
so I've written more songs than poetry. I'm going to be very realistic here. Because everyone would go around saying, oh, hundreds, you know, if there's a songwriter, but I'm going to be very realistic. Probably 80, around 85. But I felt I followed through with most of them and actually took them to the groups and practiced them and tried them, and then was either like, no, it's fantastic or it's shit, you know.
Have you, man? There's a BBC documentary out there about David Gilmour from Pink Floyd, and it's just about him. It's not about Pink Floyd. It's not. It's like 50 minutes or something, like 54 minutes. It's not very long. And essentially, they're just like following him around like his daily life now. Yeah. Like at his house, what he's doing. And you kind of get a little bit of an insight into his recording process. And it blows your mind. It blew my mind. Okay. Yeah. So like he was basically like what you're saying, like he's constantly every day playing and writing things, and then he has this process where he reviews it, and then where somebody else reviews it, and then where his wife, who is his primary lyricist, takes finalized music and then reviews it and sees if there could be lyrics. Wow. Or he has an outside source where he gets like, he's always looking at lyrics that people are like, hey, I have lyrics, but I have no music. And if he wants to sing and play that with, oh, this sounds, but then at the end of the week, he kind of goes back after this big, like sifting process and is like, oh, this and this go together. And then it's kind of like a piecing together of like, well, this riff and this chord progression are in the same exact key. I wrote them a day apart. Like my mind was probably doing, you know, and it just how he puts it together. And then the filtration process he has for, is this going to become a song someday? And then too, David Gilmour's had a lot of songs that he wrote musically that went on to become super famous songs, but he never did anything with it. He just like, or he passed on lyrics and they went on to become a famous song by like other artists. That guy fascinates me. Yeah,
he's so controlled and processed. I mean, his own process, you know.
Well, and two, I mean, I like Roger Waters as well, but David Gilmour with his vocals, precision, and his playing are just. I don't care if he wrote any of the lyrics, honestly, which he did write a fair amount. Everybody on that argument is just like, oh, yeah, David Gilmour just doesn't write any of the songs. It's all Roger Waters. Now, David Gilmour wrote a lot of the lyrics for Pink Floyd. I don't know if it's like 50% or what it is, but significant portion.
You know, it's with writing, I was always and it's going to sound really smug, but I was always more about quality than quantity. But the thing is, if I had an idea, I would try to determine if it was crap or not before I would even go further with it. So if I'm singing in the shower, or if I'm, hanging out and all of a sudden I'm in the kitchen and I'm like, ooh, idea. I wouldn't go write it down unless I developed it a little bit more. I never would take it to the writing until I knew
straight
it was
out of your
something.
mind. Yeah, that's interesting.
Until I knew it was something, and then I was like, okay, this has something, and then I would write it down. And it's funny because so much of my writing is literally in an almost like scat speak, like da-dum bum bum dum dum diggity. And it's funny because like all the guys I've worked with can speak fluid scat talk. Like, yeah, do the part that's like diggity diggity bop 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 pop pop, like that, because they get that. Me and Kyle, we can speak another language, I swear to God. I think a lot of musicians hearing this will understand what I'm talking about. Go back to the diggity diggity boom boom part, But it's funny how much of that I actually will type out on my phone or in my notebooks, and like, and it's literally a rhythm that I've done like that. But I can write notes. I can actually notate, but which is a problem because a lot of the guitarists and stuff I've hired, I'll be like, I need you to play a diminished this or that, or I need to play even if I'm like, hey, play an A minor, and they're like, huh.
It is shocking.
It's what?
I've been teaching myself a lot of theory the last year, really, but like I have drills and exercises I do like almost daily for scales and key work. Like I just put together a couple of different methods, and I'll just take a key. Like I'm still working my way through G major, but that's changed the way I play in so many ways. And to practice diligently, it's like, yeah, I've always known a lot of chords, but there's a lot of chords I don't know. And then also I've been playing the mandolin for a couple of years.
That helps quite a bit.
Yeah, dude, you know a mandolin is the first four strings of a guitar or a four-string bass upside down. Mm-hmm. It's tuned backwards or whatever. Crazy.
Yeah, it's really helpful to any type of stringed instrument. It helps with your fingering techniques.
Yeah.
But it helps. But it's really helpful to just practice anything. When you're practicing music, you're not wasting time. As the kids love Billie Eilish, but she makes a good point that her parents would never let her go to bed. I'm sorry, they wouldn't make her go to bed if she was working on music, even if they were just messing around.
That's a great principle.
Because even just messing around, you're still making music, even if and something beautiful may come out of it. Some of the best songs come from messing around. But going back to writing music, I never wanted to write anything that didn't have a direction to go, and sometimes laying the train tracks for it before you put the train down. So
would you say you develop a concept?
Big time.
And the concept or the idea, so you get the idea, or maybe it's a line or two lines, and then you develop that into a concept before you take it out of your head and put it on something.
Yeah, and that's work with will flat out tell you if it's shit or if it's genius. And I know that if I can impress them, it's good. And I never wanted to ever drop an album that I didn't love everything in it. Now, the problem with this is there's a lack of consistency sometimes. And that's why the album I did put out is all the songs are so eclectic and different. And they're like, wow, are you guys trying to be Pink Floyd or some shit? And failing because everything was so different and crazy. Instead of where you got Breaking Benjamin and every song is Breaking Benjamin, you know what I mean? There's not a big variation, like one slow song, but nevertheless, it's Breaking Benjamin.
Yeah.
There was no great variation. But you've heard variation here, haven't you?
Big time.
Exactly. And that's what I've always pushed for, is some type of variation.
You guys also I remember when you kind of started going more electronic, because you remember when you kind of revamped which song? Well, a couple of songs. You revamped Letters, and you revamped, what was that other track? Hold on, I'll look it up if I see it. But you used to
give me a hint, I'll tell you.
You used to. I think it was Angels in the House of Glass.
Yeah, we completely changed it.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, who was that? I couldn't remember if that was the name.
Yeah, it was that. We revamped almost all the songs.
But you went
that's because the producer we had was also at one point had produced Linkin Park and all that. So we we went for a completely different direction, and that's the direction I want to stay in. Of course, it was a bit new metal because it was 100 years ago. But
what year did you guys come out with that album?
2008.
Wow. Yeah.
11 years ago.
Wow.
And I mean, and I've got lots of new music now, and I'm sitting on. We don't have any plans of going public with it because right now I don't really care about putting that out to the public just yet. I'm going directly to the horse's mouth. I'm going directly to A&Rs and producers and stuff like that, and having them take it to the public. I've done the garage situation and trying to get attention, and I love playing on stage. I love all of that, but I've got a lot of distance. Got to get my health better. Works all the time. And we need support.
Where's he working at now? DC still?
He's a postman.
Okay, no, I knew that.
He's
talked about that.
Yeah, he's a postman, and he's still at DC. He's working 2 jobs just to support a family and just to support this. And so if we go anywhere, we need the support of a A&R. So we're going straight to the horse's mouth this time.
Yeah.
So because we can't just try to build a local following like we used to. We don't have the money or the time. So,
yeah, I've been talking with everybody about this because, 2 different times I got a private lesson today, and then I had a podcast with somebody yesterday. Next track is starting.
Oh, that's a good one. That's the title track. Conditions of My Parole.
I own a gym, and I still got to go exercise, and I do all of these things for my health that I'd neglected for a while, but chiropractic care, better diet, consistent exercise outside of my own gym, being sure I do things inside of my own gym, because it's easy to just work there, dude. You know what I'm saying? And it's easy to just be a coach and be creative and come up with new stuff and then not roll as much as I should be. But, or I'm injured, but I've been taking a lot more control over just my health and wellness, man, and talking with people about it because, too, I had somebody on the other day and we were talking about the linkage between poverty and obesity and stuff like that, and how sad that is and how now I have excellent insurance and my income from my teaching at the university, and it's so much of that goes to just wellness, oh yeah, we're just paying off that student loan so fast that we don't stress out about it. Oh yeah, it's not a big deal to get a coffee. It's not oh yes, we can get the more expensive, healthier food. I can drink kombucha, whatever it is that I want to do to help. It's dude, I can never afford it for most of my adult life.
Yeah. That's why people. I lost 100. I've lost 100 pounds, and people are like, how'd you do that? And I said, money. Yeah, I paid $20,000 for weight loss surgery. Is how I did it to help with portions. And now,
which one did you have done?
Gastric sleeve.
Okay.
But then I've got a long ways to go. That's
a slow process, though, right?
God, yeah.
See, so people who get
it only takes out one facet, and that's portions. That's it. And, but it helped me with my sleep apnea. It took diabetes off the table for me. It helped with critical, what's the other thing? I had pulmonary hypertension, which was deadly. And I had all these things that were killing me. So now I can just focus on, diet and exercise. But the thing is, I'm on all these supplements or I die. And I have no energy. So I've been creating a lot more supplement routines and stuff, and I was telling Cora previously, I was just hey, don't let me stop working out, exercising damn near daily. Be sure that I'm doing that. Talk with me about it, because here's a very logical assessment that I can make, and if I do those things, I will live longer unless something crazy happens. But if I don't do them, I will definitely die sooner. It's I have to read so much about it, and see, I can't digest so many things because I got a stomach the size of a banana now. The actual stomach part, not the gut, the stomach, and it's it's a good song.
What's the name of this one?
Sorry, I'll go on about the fat thing here.
The Weaver.
Oh yeah, it's sexy.
2 more
so
tracks.
Sexy. But like so like dairy is really difficult.
Dude, I can't.
Meat, big meat. You know?
I'll say I drank a chocolate milk this morning.
Yeah. But dairy's for baby cows.
It is. It's not. And immediately I didn't feel good. I'd worked out and I was like,
it's inflammatory.
It's
very inflammatory.
Yeah, I was going to say the same. I was been late to a couple of private lessons and in a podcast, like 5 minutes late because I was like exercising. I was just like, hey, thanks for waiting on me. I got out of the gym a little late, and I noticed, but this morning I was running a little behind, but I drank chocolate milk on the way over. And I haven't been drinking dairy, but man, when I do, like it flares I have like some psoriasis. It's like that it causes it to flare up, and I don't really have really that many symptoms of it ever, unless it's dead of winter. My skin's super dry because of that sometimes, and I'm eating a lot of sugar, dairy. Sugar and dairy both, dude, are
they're just really inflammatory.
I
mean, cancer loves sugar and fat, and it's a real thing. It's a real thing. GMOs are hard for me to processed stuff is real hard for me to digest and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I have to eat super clean. I'm having to eat super, super clean now. But it's.
How do you do with nuts?
I mean,
I like almonds, man. I eat a lot of almonds.
Almonds are like the neutral thing, but the thing about like peanuts, and I've only had one doctor. I had to go through like 5 different nutritionists to get to this point, and one of them scared the hell out of me about men's nuts.
Thanks, Texas.
All right, guys, we're going to talk about nuts here. The problem about nuts is, all right, seriously, I don't like to make fun of that. I'm sorry. Here we go, guys. Let's talk about our nuts. Eating peanuts and peanut products as a man is one of the, according to certain theories, is a leading cause of colon cancer.
Interesting.
Due to some men developing diverticulitis.
I've definitely heard peanuts will cause
colon
kidney stones
and other colon-based issues, and like kidneys, and there's also kidney stones. That's different, but now this isn't all men. Some men can process them just fine, but they do cause gut issues, and I thought that was really interesting because I think about all the guys I know that eat, like my buddy, like he eats peanut butter all the time, and I'm like,
you know what I think, John? I think it has to do with your blood type.
I believe in that. I totally believe in that.
Here's the only part I found of that I'm like, that's the part I really is the toxic foods portion.
Yeah.
Like people with this blood type, they cannot eat
like the deadly
shellfish.
Like in the Deadly Nightshade, the tomatoes and stuff like that.
Yes.
Like tomatoes put out a poison that says, don't eat me. And here we eat them anyway. Yeah.
Dude, oh man. I've told Cora several times, I think I'm allergic to red shit. Just red
things?
stuff.
Well, I mean, there's different ones, but that's very possible. Like strawberries.
I don't eat a lot of strawberries. Well, exactly, it's like I don't crave red things, but like tomatoes are in so much, and like man, I noticed
they're a deadly nightshade.
Yeah.
What blood type are you?
I don't even know, dude.
You probably need to test it. Order it on eBay. Blood type test kit. Yeah.
I'm afraid that they're gonna like sell my DNA to.
No, you don't send it off.
NSA or something.
No.
Bro. I'm scared, man.
You don't send it off. They send you a lance. Okay. Oh. You rub it on a little thingy.
Puncture.
And then you rub it on 5 little samples, and it tells you what blood type you are.
Okay.
You don't send it to anybody.
Yeah, I need to know because my mom was just reminding me that she had a health scare a couple years ago, and they didn't know what blood type she was, so they gave her O negative, and her body rejected it.
See, that's not good.
It was very scary, dude. Very scary. But
the peanuts. I mean, one of the surgeons was telling me, he's like, all you fat people got to stay off the peanuts. They're just little fat droplets anyway. He's like, almonds are kind of middle of the road.
Almonds are a good protein.
It prevents headaches.
A doctor, orthopedic surgeon that...
Oceans is the track, fellas and
Oceans
females.
And Tumbleweed.
Tumbleweed was my dad's favorite track. Talk a lot about my dad.
This has an 80s sort of synth feel to it.
But that's my favorite thing in the world is 80s synth, man. It's so buttery and warm. And
do you have a synth or anything you play around with?
Hell yes, man.
What do you use? You go straight into your computer?
A Roland Keytar.
Nice.
Yes, cost me $700. Well worth every penny. I've had it since high school, since 2001.
The dude, I saw a dude play a keytar in a band once, and he everybody, they're kind of like a screamo type band, or whatever. But everybody in the band's just losing it, headbanging.
And he's
like,
got the guitar,
and he's like, but he was like, he would like hold one down, and then he would like do the same thing they were doing, and then he'd be like, well, and hold the other one down. He's like really get that, dude. They were animated.
Oh yeah,
but he would just be like,
well, you got the expression bar up here.
Yeah,
that ups the pitch, and you got an expression thing you pull on that makes it go like that.
Dude, I want to play more with it too. The whammy pedal I have in there, like Tom Morello style whammy pedal, is so sick on like octaving, switching octaves, and
I used to
trims and stuff like that.
The guitars that I've played have all been like they slave off of another unit. Like they don't make their own sound, so you hook it up to like a keyboard, or you slave it off of like a like a sample producer, a sound modulator. And I would actually hook all of that up to a distortion pedal and a wah pedal, and just play it like a guitar.
Dude, yeah, I love when
that
people
was back
put
in the
a lot
day.
of.
That was back when I was in Nattel's band. You've had him on the show, but he'll remember that.
Yeah, dude, I didn't even make that connection till you came on later.
That was I was like
jammed together.
I was like 16 years old, man.
Yeah. Man, I'm excited because I'm upping my production value in the new studio. So eventually, here within the next 3 months, we will be at the new gym in a room about 3 times this size. But we're going to do these monthly tiny desk concerts, get local and regional talent to come in. We'll do a podcast with them, and it's like, hey, play a song. We'll record that, be just additional content. And Dylan's going to produce those. Dylan Sparks, he's an incredible musician. He played drums.
Oh, I know him. Yeah,
for When the Angels Were Silent. I saw you guys play.
No, I know them.
Show with them one time. Yeah. But that's going to be something cool. So like then I'm going to be doing like, well, I'll do other episodes like this one, but that like once a month our goal is to do a Music Unraveled episode like that.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah. No,
I'd love to get on that. And Kyle get on there if you want us to.
Yeah, no, man, I would love to see. He comments on my stuff on social media, but man, I hadn't seen Kyle, and
he'd love to do.
Hey, we should have both you guys on.
He would love to. Yeah,
talk. I'll send him a message.
He would. I guarantee you, he would love to.
Does he listen when you come on the show?
Yeah.
I'm gonna send you the group message. Okay, so check this out. We haven't ironed out a time yet, but Josh Wilson, Thurman Storing, and then Thurman's sister Julie Storing, we're all four doing a Star Wars podcast. Last track,
Tumbleweed.
Oh, Banger.
This is the one that he came out on stage pulling an Airstream with Karina Round.
Oh, that's hilarious.
She was inside it, and he just come out like just hauling this thing in this beautiful leather jacket. Looked like a Stetson hat on his head. And she just started singing this. And they weren't like performing it. They were setting up. They were putting out chairs and setting up a fire.
Yeah.
And they were just singing this like they were just, while they were setting up chairs and a campfire. A little campfire on stage. And putting out some Caduceus. And
I said, hey man, how have you been? John and I are sitting here podcasting, and we had the genius idea that you and John should come on the podcast together sometime. Dude, Kyle is an insane drummer, bro.
He is. I'm the luckiest guy in the world. We've been together through it all. We got a kind of a little 21 Pilots type setup now. I kind of play bass, and it's pretty good. We're kind of the only ones in the band that have ever been on the exact same page musically.
Man, but I don't even know why I turned on Facebook, but I did. And one of my students' dads.
What happened?
One of my students' dads passed away.
Oh no!
It's like the first guy I'm promoting to a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Oh no!
Yeah, sorry.
Sorry to hear that.
That's why I don't need to get. I picked up my phone to send Kyle a Facebook message. That's why, and I just happened to see it. That's rough. He lost his aunt recently too. It's a bummer. I'll have to. Like, what do you do?
It's horrific.
What do you say?
I mean, I'd like to say you've been there, but it's different in every case, and it's horrible. It's always horrible.
Yeah. Somber. Bummer. Dylan says he's a Ravenclaw. I think that's bullshit. Gryffindor for life, homie. 10 points for Gryffindor.
How do you know? How do you know? How are you sorted?
You know,
I've always wanted to ask.
You think I'm going to follow the rules of the sorting hat? I'm trying to hang out with Ron and Harry and shit.
Right. So you got your own. You chose yourself.
Yeah. Neville Longbottom. I got some bros over there in that house.
Right.
Plus, he wants to be on like in the same house as like Draco Malfoy or somebody. No one. I mean, you know, he gets a bad rap. He's like the Joffrey of the Harry Potter.
Draco?
Which Game of Thrones? He's like, he's like the Joffrey of the Harry Potter franchise.
Yeah, that franchise almost bastardized him. Like, people still just call him Draco everywhere he goes. Pretty decent actor too. It's kind of,
man, it's super interesting.
He's a great actor.
Seeing them grow up through that franchise, because I mean, the first one, that original cast, they're all 8 years old or something. Wild. You think they're gonna, after Fantastic Beasts sort of runs its course, that they will do an adult version of Harry Potter?
No.
I've heard that they're going to do another extension where
I don't know how they could.
Well, it's going to be okay. So like, Harry's an adult and his kids go off to Hogwarts. Apparently, is what I've heard. I'd be down.
Well, everybody would be, but I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if it's been written or if she's writing it, but I've heard that several times.
I mean, she likes money. That was beautiful as hell. So I mean,
okay, so yeah, that is an excellent album.
Wraps
man.
up the whole album. I really don't know how to. All right, review. Okay, you want my big review? Here it goes. It's amazing. That's it. That's it. I wish I had something more to say. It's the best album.
Everybody should go out and listen to albums with your friends.
I wish we had something amazing to say about it. Besides that, it's amazing. Profound. Be profound.
I'll tell you what I'm interested in. Like with this new Star Wars movie coming out, like or like us deciding to do all of like I say when we get all of the Puscifer albums reviewed, is to like be able to arrive at a new contextual understanding. Like, oh man, having sat down and listened to all of these, my context and understanding of this band or Maynard or whatever is changed in these ways. Because honestly, like I went and saw the new Star Wars film twice, and that's the thing that it's like the change. Like you don't understand how it fits into the context immediately. You know, just like until you've really sat down and listened to all of this stuff multiple times. Like I told you, I listened to the whole Fear Inoculum album earlier. And man, it just every time you take away something different, and it's almost like you come to a new understanding.
Well, the thing that's popular these days, I think it's been popular for a lot longer than I've perceived this, but is to say negative things and to have negative opinions because one, it's more interesting than having positive ones. People think it's more interesting because it garners clicks. People go, these guys are going to say some really controversial, and by controversial, I mean negative. They're going to have negative opinions, so I better click it. That's more interesting than a couple guys going, we like it. We loved it. We want some more of it.
Yeah.
People don't want, who cares? Okay, so you love eating McDonald's. Good for you. Who gives a shit? But these two guys, oh man, they hate McDonald's. I wonder why. Let's click that. See what I mean?
Yeah.
That's...
Yeah, it's like people attempting to garner a critical thought, but just being critical for no reason.
Exactly, and I'm not going to do that. To thine own self be true, and guess what? That's a great album.
Yeah, it is.
You're hurting yourself as a fan of music by not listening to it at least once. And I guess maybe not all music. It's fantastic synth album. Fantastic classically trained vocals is really what it sounds like. It's soothing. Possibly one of the most soothing albums, I think.
Oh, that was an easy, awesome listen.
Yeah, it's got a wonderful groove to it.
I really did like that last track too.
It's probably the most rhythmic and soothing and least confusing album to take on that he's ever put his hands on. Because there's nothing really hard to chew in any of that album. It would be a great freshman entrance, I think, into the rabbit hole that is Maynard fandom.
Maynardism.
If you want to be a Maynard, N-E-R-D, this is a good place to enter. And I never thought about this being a good freshman album for someone, but I think it might be.
Yeah.
It might be something I throw at someone first. And it used to not be. I used to be like, oh, you should listen to Tool first. No. Maybe this.
Dude, what I tell people about Tool is like, I run into a lot of people like my own age and shit, like they've heard 46 and 2 and Schism and shit back when it was like hot in like the early 2000s. And it's somebody Dylan just sent me a taste. He's talking shit about all this, but he got a mannequin to circle game me. Yeah.
Get
this shit out.
Do this. Get that thing to do it.
Oh, yes. There you go, Dylan. He watches the podcast. Kyle messaged us back, too. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. What was I saying? I got freaking distracted as fuck. Oh, yeah. You go back and listen to Tool as 32-year-old grown adult man. That shit means something totally different than it did.
Yeah, you're right.
18 to 25.
Okay, you talk about 18 to 25-year-olds listening to it now. All right, when I heard it when I was 15, I guess, and I remember saying, here's the thing. I will give Nattel all the credit in the world for showing me Tool for the first time.
Really?
Yeah,
wow.
We were on our way home from Little Rock, recording at Randy Boyd's studios. I had just heard Evanescence for the first time because they were there a few minutes before we left. That's how I got to experience them the first time. They were recording at the same studio. Randy Boyd he's a great guy. Man. Anyways, that was a long time ago, dude.
War stories, man.
I got a lot of war stories there. Anyways, so we're on our way back, and he was always, introducing me to good stuff, and I was always showing him what was, I was learning keyboard stuff from. I was like, oh man, check out this new Radiohead album I got, and it was a long time ago, bro. I'm 36. This was the old days. And I don't know if I was 15 or 16, but he was showing me, the first song he showed me was Opiate. And I said, I listened to the whole thing. And this is like my biggest confession, and here I am going to say it.
We may have, not you and I, but Colby and I may have reviewed that. We reviewed the Satan album on the podcast.
Oh, yeah,
728.
So I'm listening to that song, and it was, the choices always were a problem for you. And I was like, oh, what?
They really have been.
They have been. And I got to the end of the song, and I said, who is she? He goes, what? I said, man, she's got a beautiful voice. And he goes, that's a guy. And I was like, dude, what? That's a guy? And I thought the whole time I had been listening to this woman with a beautiful voice. So perhaps his anima was coming out.
Oh man, Maynard is
true story. I thought it was a woman the whole time. Unique. I'd never heard a man's voice that was so beautiful that it was feminine to me. And I was just a kid, but it was angelic in a way that I couldn't fathom a man's voice to sound.
That's a good way to describe it.
Does that make sense? Sure. It was like a siren, and I couldn't fathom that a man's voice could sound like that.
He's like classically Glee, a cappella trained.
Yeah.
I mean,
I never heard anything like that. And I was just like, yeah, man, she's got a gorgeous voice. He's like, bro.
That's hilarious. Kyle says Sundays and Mondays, so we'll have to plan an episode with him. I'll
sure.
Respond back to that message. And we'll wrap this episode up because we got to record an episode talking about The Mandalorian.
So from May nerd to real nerd.
Yes. So we're going to step into the Star Wars universe for an episode after the show. This is the end of this episode of Music Unraveled. Thanks for watching, listening, tuning in. Please share this and comment and do all that stuff. Thanks.